Hello, everyone. Welcome to another webinar here at AEQ. Good morning and good afternoon for all of our customer friends and new guests from all around the world. Thanks again for joining us in this new webinar. My name is Ramon. I belong to the international sales team here at AEQ. Today, we will be talking about our latest release, which is a new version of our Venus Audiocodecs family. This time named Venus 4 Plus and Venus 4. Let me introduce my colleague, Sergio Sanchez, which is the product manager for. Hey, Sergio, how are you?
Hello, Ramon. Hello, everybody. How are you today?
Good. For sure, we will have a fantastic presentation today. We are really proud to provide a new development, a new solution for the broadcast industry. Okay, like all webinars, there is a panel when you can write down your questions. And at the end of the session, Sergio will be glad to answer most of them. In case we are running out of time, the other ones will be answered by email. And also, we have a survey before you leave. We really appreciate your suggestions and your answers in order to still preparing quality content for the next presentations. Okay, people. Today we will be going over these key points. Number one, first of all, I will start with a brief of AEQ, who we are, what we do. Then a brief of our current AEQ Audiocodecs portfolio. New and common features for the new Venus, configuration and control, best practices and usage scenarios, and finally, all related with website and resources. Okay, having said this, I'm sure most of you know about us before, but for new guests, as you may know, AEQ is a Spanish manufacturer with more than 40 years developing, manufacturing, and selling solutions for the broadcast industry, especially for radio and TV stations. Through this year, our presence have reached more than 7,000 customers in more than 90 countries. Also, we have an international sales network of offices. They are located in Spain, Portugal, USA, Mexico, and India. In our website, you can find our dealer network. They are listed by region. Contact them anytime you need, or if you prefer, you can write us directly, and we will be glad to attend your inquiry. Our pleasure. Okay, let's talk about our current Audiocodecs catalog. Okay, Sergio. First of all, I would like to say that AEQ has more than 30 years of expertise developing and manufacturing Audiocodecs technologies. We have been present in important worldwide sport events since early 90s. Our current Audiocodec portfolio, called Phoenix, provides solutions for studio and portable use. Starting with the studio ones, at the left side, we have our Mercury model, which is a single channel audio codec for analog and digital signal. Then our fourth generation of Venus 4 Plus and Venus 4, which are the ones that we will be talking about in this presentation later on. They are dual channel. And also we have an ISDN and IP network option called Stratos, both which is currently discontinued. But if you have a special request for ISDN networks, we will be glad to attend your inquiry. Just contact us directly. That's all. Okay, for portable propose, we have a couple of options. The first one is our Alio model, which is a solution for outside productions, performing like an audio codec combined with a 4-channel audio mixer. The other one is our Talent, the small one, which is our latest release of portable use. It has a single channel and providing other cutting-edge features like Bluetooth connectivity and control through a mobile app. For more information, please feel free to visit our website or contact us anytime you need. So having said this, Sergio, go ahead with the presentation. I will see you at the end. Bye-bye.
Sergio, I can hear you.
Oh, people, yes, we have an
Sorry.
issue right now. Sergio is muted.
Sorry, we have an issue with the microphone. It was not
Oh,
correctly
yes,
plugged.
yes,
Sorry.
yes,
Okay,
yes.
I was
On the
just
top, please.
okay. I was just thanking Ramon for the presentation, and now we are going to focus on the Venus family because before we have seen a review of the Phoenix family. Now we are going to focus on Venus. Okay, so as you know by now, Venus is a dual codec, dual channel audio codec. It's an IP audio codec. It's bidirectional and stereo or dual. And this is how it looks like. This is a photo of the back of the newer unit, the Venus 4, and we are going to use this photo to explain the interfaces. It has high quality analog inputs and outputs with very low noise and very low distortion. Then we have also AES3 digital inputs and outputs and digital connectivity, and the unit is able to extract synchronization from the inputs. And starting from Venus 3, we offered optional Dante or AES67 connectivity for audio input and output. Okay, this is an option. It can be licensed, and we continue offering it, of course, with Venus 4, offering 4 inputs and 4 outputs for 2 stereo channels. Okay, the unit also includes 2 RS-232 ports for auxiliary data transmission embedded in the audio stream, and also general purpose input and output. The power supply can be redundant. It may have up to 2 AC/DC power supplies and also up to 2 DC 48 volts inputs. Okay, so we have any combination available. Okay, from now on, we are going to speak about the new features found in Venus 4. The first of them is the addition of a third Ethernet port. So we are now offering 3 Ethernet ports. The first 2 of them are the commonly found so far, Net 1 and Net 2, and they are going to be used for control and also to for audio streaming and transmission, and we can use them for network separation, ISP provider redundancy, etc. Okay, the new addition is the third 1 gigabit per second Dante port. It is no longer shared with Net 1, so Dante is connected exclusively in this port. Okay. Okay, another addition, another improvement of this unit is the high power efficiency. We have reviewed all the power supply design, and the power consumption is now below 10 watts. I think it's very low, and of course it remains convection cooled, so no fan, no noise, and it's compatible with the studio operation. Okay, let's go to the next big addition, or the next new feature of Venus 4. Okay, Venus 4 Plus is the most complete version of Venus 4. We have also Venus 4, which doesn't have this local control interface we are going to show. Okay, this is how Venus 4 Plus looks like. You see that it has a local control interface, including a TFT, a full color TFT display, navigation encoder plus button, dedicated keys, and a numeric or multitap or SMS, as we call it, QR. Okay. The screen provides a lot of information at a glance, as the channel status, the audio coding algorithm, and also real-time view meters for all the inputs and outputs. Okay, these view meters are real-time, as I said, and also quite precise. We have taken the opportunity of using this TFT with color representation to provide quick information about the channel status. As you can see, the title bar of each channel is depicted in different colors. In this example, you can see that the first channel is green because it is connected and receiving audio, while the second one is in yellow because it is connected but not receiving any audio back. So it is in an intermediate state. Okay, when there is an error, such a zip register error, it is shown in red, and when the channel is idle, it is signal in gray. Okay, in this case, we have another combination. First channel is connected in green, and second channel is disconnecting, so it's in a temporary state, which is represented in red. Okay, now we are going to show how the menu works. I will take the opportunity to show you my camera that is pointing to a real unit I have here. Okay, you can see the unit here. It's a Venus 4 Plus. And if we press on the encoder, we access to the menu. Okay, the menu is organized in 3 sections. The first section is for channel 1, the second section is for channel 2, and the third section related to common device features. Okay, if we go to channel 1 menu, you see that we can access to channel configuration mode, for example, RTP, direct SIP, proxy SIP. Okay. We can go also to the encoding menu that allows us to define the coding algorithm we are going to use. Okay. And we can also access some advanced options like analog, digital, or Dante input. Okay, the input mode, or some setup of the interface buffers, etc. Okay. If we go to the third option, okay, of course, the second option for channel 2 is identical to the first channel 1 option. If we go to the third, as I said, third option, we are going to set up device characteristics like network connection. We can define if it is using DHCP, IP address, mask, gateway, etc. Okay, we can have access to, for example, the firmware versions in case you need to know that. We have other options for rebooting the unit, etc. Okay, so we can do almost everything from this front panel, and what we are not allowed to do here, we can pre-configure it in the software, as we are going to see now, and just select the option here. Okay, the second, let me hide this. Okay, the second most important addition to the Venus 4 family is presets. What are presets? Okay, they are an option to provide quick, partial, detailed, or complex, or even complete configuration for the device. Okay, how do we work with this, with presets? Okay, first we need to define the presets. We use Control Finish for this. Okay, so we have a new screen, as we will see later on, where we can define a preset with a given name, and then we can navigate through many device options for the device and also for the channels. Okay, and we can select which parameters we want to alter when we load a preset and which value we need to assign to that. Okay, in this case, you see an example called CH1 analog, where we are only changing for channel 1 the audio inputs, the audio input output options. We are going to change only the input mode. Okay, so this is the only button that is selected, as you can see, and we define a value, it's analog in this case. So once we have defined this preset, we save it. So we store it in the program memory or in the device itself, in the audio codec. And then the second phase is activation. Whenever we need to apply these changes, we can do that in several ways. First of all, we can do it by software, by remote control software in 2 different menus, okay, in miscellaneous and also in the preset menu, as we will see. And also, when we are using Venus 4, we can use the preset key. I'm going to show you the camera again. Okay, this button here allows us to select which already stored preset we want to activate. For example, we select this CH1 analog, and we can activate it. It loads the configuration, okay, and then the changes are applied. Okay, in this case, it is a very simple change, just to move the CH1 input to analog mode, but we can do more complex things like changing the interface mode, operation mode, the SIP user and accounts, we can change the Ethernet ports we are using for audio, or we can change the destination of outgoing control. For people already having ALIO, for example, you know what I'm talking about. Okay, so it's quite useful for a quick configuration of the unit. Okay, a very good news is that we have also added this feature to ALIO. So from now on, you also have presets in ALIO. You can also select them from the front screen, and you can see what the presets are stored in the unit, and you can activate them. So that's recent news. Okay, other improvements, just to finish, we have revised the components, the part list of the unit in order to provide better manufacturability, so we can achieve lower lead times or shorter lead times in these difficult days where some parts may get difficult to get, or they can get time consuming to get. Okay, this redesign have also allows us to improve even more the reliability because of the lower power, so lower temperature operation, higher power efficiency of the unit. Now, as I said before, we are below 10 watts for the units fully working. And to finish, just to remind you that there is a light version of Venus 4 called just Venus 4, not Venus 4 Plus. That is the one that I showed you before. That is identical, but lacking the front panel control. Okay, so it looks exactly like Venus 2 or Venus 3. Okay, and you may be familiar with this front panel, but the rest of the features are already there, like presets and the third Ethernet port. Okay, having said that, how do we configure, operate, and control a Venus 4 unit? Okay, just like the rest of the Phoenix family. The main way to operate them is using Control Phoenix, that is a Windows application. It is a multi-workstation. It can operate on many codecs at the same time in the licensed version, because the free version only allows operation of 2 simultaneous codecs. And several instances of Control Phoenix can run at the same time in different computers on the same equipment in a coherent way. Okay. Okay, also in Venus 4, we have the front panel to operate the unit, as I already demonstrated before. And in all Phoenix units, we also offer a web server that is useful for maintenance tasks like firmware upgrade, IP or MAC configuration, restoring, recalling, resetting configurations, or checking the channel status and statistics, checking the GPIO status and testing them, etc. Okay, at this point, okay, and all of these controls can operate at the same time and are coherent, as I said before. And at this point, I think we are going to go and show you a real installation of Control Phoenix. You can see a real screen here where we are controlling 4 units in total, because this is a licensed version. The top left one is the Venus 4 I have right at my side, this one here. This one represented in red is the famous Phoenix Master test unit that we offer to all of our customers for making SIP or RTP calls for testing purposes. And this one are ALIO and Talent that I also have here at my side, but they could be anywhere in the world, really. So as you can see, there is a main screen showing the main status and main features of the units. And then we have some buttons to make calls, set the units on air, etc., depending on the particular device. The controls are simultaneous with the front panel, as you can see. If I touch here, I have a representation here of the mute first channel or second channel. And if I do something like making a call, for example, in the first channel, you will see that the status is reflected here. The channel is shown in green, the button is illuminated, okay, and the destination is shown here. We can hang up the call from here, and all the status is represented also in the software. Okay, so everything is coherent. Okay, so in order to make a call, for example, we can select first the mode we are operating into. For example, this channel is working in proxy SIP. It is already registered with this name in our free server. So we are able to make calls to the test units. So we can go here and test Phoenix Master. So you can see that the call is established. Okay. And we can hang up the call easily too. Okay. We can also make a call in RTP. For example, we can go here, go to RTP, or we can do it from the front panel also, as we explained before. And we can make a call to the second channel of the test unit. Okay, we can use the call book that is already stored here, or we can type the IP and port. Okay, we can make a call there. Okay, and the call will be established. As easy as that. We can hang up it here, for example. It will be disconnecting, and then okay. As you can see, we can also see things like real-time view meters here. This is the audio entering the Phoenix Master. This unit is in the internet, so it can be anywhere in the world, but we can still see the high precision view meters. Okay, for other units, we have more options like the mixer for audio or talent, etc. I will take the opportunity to show you the operation of presets. You can see that there is a new menu here, presets. Okay, and here we have like two storages. We have the general storage, that is the memory of the computer, is the database in the computer. We can create presets here just for storage, and then we have the presets in the devices. As I told you before, we currently have, or we currently offer presets in Alio and Venus 4 units. Okay, so these are the two Alio and Venus 4 devices I have here. Okay, in Venus 4 we have already stored 4 presets. If we go here, we can see them here. Okay, we can also, for example, delete them. Right, no problem. We can move presets from one device to another just by dragging them. For example, we can drag this, okay, to the audio, and then I will have this preset here. I will now delete it. Okay, and in order to create a preset, we just go to the device we want to save it to, or we can save it to the general agenda. Now I am going to create a simple preset in the Venus 4. So we select this and we go here to new preset, and we will define a name. In this case, the same example as before. We are going to set up a preset to change channel 1 input to analog mode. So we navigate through the different options here. We go to channel 1, audio input and output, select this parameter as it is the one we want to change, and select the analog value. Just that. We just save, okay, and it is here and here, okay. We can create a new one called CH1 digital that they will do exactly the same, but the opposite. We want to change the channel to digital, okay. Channel 1, you just save it, okay. So if we go here, we see that the unit is already inputting audio in analog mode in channel 1. But if we go to the preset here and change it to digital, the unit will temporarily disconnect just to provide a refresh of the parameters. Okay. And when it reconnects, we can check that the mode has changed to digital. Okay. This is a very simple change, but we can change many more things at the same time, like changing the SIP user and account. We can change the interfaces. We can change almost everything you need to change. Okay. So I think that's it for today regarding control, because there are many more options, but they are perhaps beyond the scope of this webinar. And I encourage you to have a look at the Control Phoenix manual for more information. And now we are going to continue the presentation as where we left it, and we are going to show some usage scenarios where these codecs are especially suitable for. Okay, we don't have to forget that Venus 4 and Venus 4 Plus, as previous units, are carrier grade audio codecs, as we call them, because they are designed for high availability and reliability for usage in studios, radio studios, TV studios, etc. And that's partly because of their dual power supply, but also to their robust hardware design. It is important to highlight that all Phoenix units rely on a separate CPU for communication and control and a DSP for audio coding. Okay, so they don't rely on a general purpose processor, and this allows us to offer the best possible audio quality and stability. Okay, there are other features included in the units that make them useful for different scenarios. These are the most typical ones. First, receiving contributions at the studio. We can have codecs at the studio used to receive calls from external codecs like Alio, Talent, or any other brand codecs operating in SIP or RTP modes. Or we can use even software SIP phones in applications in your phone to have a way of communicating, or even public telephone calls using a suitable PBX or virtual provider. There are some options in the unit that make it especially suitable for this, like Smart RTP that allows us to make quick RTP calls very easily, auto answer or auto hang up functions. Another typical use are the STL, studio to transmitter links, that are very stable and very reliable links between a studio and a transmitter side, using an IP network that may be of different kinds, like a virtual network, virtual private network, sorry, the public internet, a 3G or 4G link, or a microwave link, etc. And some features that make this unit useful for this application are the permanent call that allows us to ensure that the call is reestablished when a power cut occurs, for example. The possibility of implementing ISP redundancy thanks to the dual port for communications. The ability to perform multi-unicast calls. This allows us to use a single codec channel to distribute the same audio stream to several, like 5 or 10 destinations with a single channel, I say. Or the remote control with auxiliary data channel to operate external devices. Another use is the creation of station networks. Okay, we have several customers doing this. They have a main headquarters where they have a pool of Venus audio codecs that they connect to their main audio matrix, and they use them for several things. For example, for sending the same main program to a bunch, like hundreds of external radio stations, each one having their own receiving codec, or to receive contributions from the stations to create reduce or secondary multicast groups, etc. This setup relies on a managed IP network. Okay, multicast cannot be done through the internet directly, so the network should be managed, and it can be done also because these devices support IGMP protocol that is mandatory for multicast through this kind of networks. Okay. Well, the last use I can explain to you, because I think it's very interesting also, is the integration or the connection to intercom systems by AEQ. This can be done to use audio codecs to expand the regional or the capabilities of the local intercom to connect several buildings together, or even to provide external mobile user panels implemented like using SIP phones as user panels, as I say. So it's a very interesting option to expand your your intercom system. Okay, having said that, I just want to inform you that there is a web that it's set up to provide all the relevant information about Venus 4 and 4 Plus, like descriptions, product concept, highlights, related software, technical details, manuals, application notes, etc. Okay, if you click here, we will go to this real page, AEQ.es/Venus4. And here, as I said, you can find all the relevant information for this new product from AEQ. Okay, and now we are going to go to finish this and to go to the
Q&A phase round.
Yeah, to the questions round, and well, I wanted to show you the last the last slide with a thank you sign, but it went to the first one, so sorry for that. So as I said, I can answer your questions that you have presented here, and if we run out of time, of course, you can send them by email, and we will try to answer them as soon as possible.
Okay. Thank you, Sergio. Thank you for the presentation, really. Okay, people, let's start with the Q&A phase round. We have here some questions. Let's start with our friends Manoj. Whether tests have been carried out to test if the Venus 4 and Venus 4 Plus can connect to a Merlin Plus?
Yes. In fact, we did some compatibility tests with several units from our competitors, and also for Merlin, for tie-line units like Merlin and Merlin Plus. And I recall that they didn't offer RTP communication mode, but they did offer SIP. So we were able to establish communications in SIP or direct SIP with a tie-line in several modes, like G72, MPEG-2, if I remember correctly, and also in Opus. So yes, they can be connected.
Fantastic. Okay, another question from the same friends. What are the fields codecs to which the Venus 4 and Venus 4 Plus are compatible? Sorry.
Field codecs. You mean portable codecs?
Yes, portable. I think portable.
Okay. Yes, we have from AEQ. We have Talent and Alio. Ramon presented them before. Talent is a small unit with a single channel, but it's very inexpensive, and it's very useful because it has Bluetooth connectivity also for music and for control. And Alio is a more complete unit with a full audio mixer with 4 channels for 4 microphones. So, of course, other units can be used, but these have guaranteed compatibility in all the modes. Also, control can be integrated with the Venus 4 in the same software, etc. So it's very convenient.
Okay.
Sorry.
Very good. Let's see other question from our friend Debug. You have talked about presets, sorry, in the device as a new feature. Could you please give us an example of use, or I think repeat again?
Yes.
About the presets?
Yes. For example, a preset can be used, I explained it before, to change the input mode of the unit. In case you have a backup of analog and digital signal, you can quickly change this mode for one channel or for both channels at the same time. You can also change your SIP account in case you have several of them for different calls, different networks. So you can quickly, you can quickly set up a different user in the unit, in the channels. You can also use it, for example, for implementing ISP provider redundancy. You can connect a router to each Ethernet port, and at some point you can decide whether one connection is down. You can change all the parameters that are required to switch the communication back to the other port at a single operation. Or you can use it also to make outgoing control available to a different PC. As you can see, as you know, The units can be controlled from the internet. You can specify an IP address that is the public IP address of the PC you are going to use to control the unit. Okay. At some point, you may need to change that destination to a different controller, and then you can do that also with a preset. There are many more options, and each customer's
Yes.
surprises every day with different uses.
Yes, yes, for sure. It's a good improvement, really, with this new series. Okay, well, we have several questions here from our friends Davies. Let me read. How can I connect my Dante network to a local network that I also control while maintaining communication to the outsides on a separate network?
Well, this is a tricky one. Okay, no problem. You can do everything. In order to provide control, you typically use one of the two control ports, like net 1, for example. You have connected to your local network and you have control. And then if you have a separate Dante network, you have to run another cable from the Dante dedicated port to that network. If control and Dante are in the same network, you still have to connect two cables to that network, to that switch, the net 1 and Dante in this case. Okay, so to have connectivity, and you can, for example, use the second port, the net 2 port, to connect to your router for external communications. Okay, so there are many combinations depending on your usage, but the key is that you can do everything with all the ports, and you can do any combination, and you have to you don't have to forget to connect the Dante port if you need to use Dante. Unlike Linux 3, where you can only connect it net 1, and you could have everything, control,
Yes.
streaming, and Dante in the single port. Okay, now you have to connect the Dante port if you want to use this connectivity.
Yes, our dedicated Dante port.
That's it.
Okay, from another friend, Andreas. Sergio, thanks for the presentation. Can you explain us how to make a zip call?
Yes, of course. I already did, in fact. Okay. In order to make a zip call, you have to remember that both peers, the local and the remote codec, have to be registered in the same server. Okay, as you know, AEQ provides a free server, sip.aeq.es, with a user and a password for each channel of each codec you purchase from AEQ. Okay, so they are already configured to register in that server. Once you have registered in that server, you only need to go here in the control software, to this button. Okay, this channel is already registered because it is okay with this username, and we can go here and type the name, just the name of the other unit. In this case, I have the master set up as Phoenix Master 2, so I just type that. You don't need to write this. Okay, this is optional because you are in the same server, so you don't really require this, and you just call. Okay. Of course, if you're in the internet, you have to take care about some details about not NAT traversal. You have to set the proper mode. If you need more details, just ask us. But this is the way. If you want to do it from the front panel, you have several options. I will show you the camera. Okay, so you just click on the call button for the corresponding channel, and you can call from the call book, from the last calls, the list of last calls, or dialing, typing the name. Okay, if I use, for example, the last calls, okay, you see the call I made to Phoenix Master or any other, you can select one, okay, and call again. Okay, just in the same way, you can use the call book. You have the Phoenix Master contacts for both SIP and RTP already stored in the units, or you can dial by yourself using the keyboard. Okay, that's it.
Okay, okay, very good. Okay, people, we have a couple of questions more. The other ones will be answered by email. We are running out of time. So here we have, oh, good question. From Mohammed. I'm interested in some unit. How is your delivery time currently? Okay, let me answer this. Well, although we are a huge production right now for more than 250 units from our national broadcaster, I think we have a short delivery time of 1 week. So they are almost ready to ship. So no problem, no any issue for delivery time right now. Thanks. Okay, the other one, yes, this is technical. This is for you, Sergio. Another one from our friend Amir. Do you recommend any specific encoding algorithm for music links?
Yes, I think that the most balanced, the most suitable algorithm right now is Opus. It has several variants from very low bit rate to less than 200 kilobits per second. Okay, and with just that or even less, with 128 kilobits per second, that is very, very low, you can have full bandwidth stereo audio with transparent quality. You cannot distinguish from a CD. So Opus has very low delay, has very low bit rate, and it is free to use in our Audiocodecs. And it's also very compatible with the third-party units. Even if they are maybe paid algorithms or paid licenses in these third parties, we offer it for free. So we recommend using Opus.
Okay, very good. Okay, people, we are running out of time. That's all for today for this presentation. Please send your question, another question to marketing@aeq.es. And as a reminder, there is a survey before you leave. Please, we appreciate your answer and your suggestion in order to still preparing good presentation for the future. Okay, thanks again for joining us. Bye-bye. See you in the next time.
Bye. Thank you for your time.